This is Panama, a small country in the Americas. Well, mostly in South America. Basically, there is this small line called the Panama Canal, meaning that Panama is currently being split in half until today. And statistically, as many of you will know... Yeah, apparently this is because of the Russia-Ukrainian conflict as of 2025. But why is that? How did it come to this? Well, in this video, we're going to understand the historical politics of the Panama Canal and what's behind it. Here's one thing you should know before we start. I was gonna do this in animation, but I just realized it would take me a whole day to animate it, so just so you know, there's not gonna be anything on the screen. Nothing but the thumbnail. Let our CapCut narrator host it for us. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's cue the intro and we'll begin.
Panama, the Republic of Panama. According to geographical studies by the United Nations, Panama is a country in the Americas, bordering Costa Rica in the northwest and Colombia in the southeast. Now, I know what y'all are curious about. Why is there a large lake in this small area? Well, I can tell this lake may refer to the Panama Canal. According to historians like me, the Panama Canal was known as one of the greatest feats of engineering in history, being known for it connecting both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, making a complete difference in trade between East and West. And when you think about Panama, it was really a perfect place to make trade easier between countries. However, if any of you are curious, you may be asking, what is the Panama Canal? Well, in this video, we'll be explaining the historical politics behind the Panama Canal. So, to start, let's go with the Spanish colonization of the Americas. In the 1500s, a certain country called the Spanish Empire arrived at the New World and colonized Panama under the expeditionary leadership of Rodrigo de Bastidas. At first, when Vasco Núñez de Balboa, who I've already learned about at school, first tried crossing the Isthmus of Panama line between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, he first started thinking of building a canal there using the inspiration from the river. The idea was first scheduled when South American resources made the Spaniards rich in the 1520s. But here's the thing. Actual construction wasn't invented there, meaning modern construction didn't exist until the mid-19th century. Anyways, another thing is that in 1534, King Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire came to an agreement with the King of Spain to initiate a survey at the canal for feasibility exploration. But fun fact, no. This is because that actual construction wasn't invented there. Later, in 1793, French Revolution, Officer Alessandro Malaspina, member of the Spanish Navy, decided to demonstrate feasibility of the canal to make sure it meets the standards. However, no work had started at the time, meaning the Panama Canal was lost forever. This is because, you guessed it, actual construction wasn't invented there, so it was impossible for the Spanish to continue building it. The Panama Canal's inactivity lasted for the next 212 years until 1811, when Prussian engineer Alexander von Humboldt commissioned a geographical essay on the Spanish colonial colonies in Central America. Deciding 5 routes for the canal in Central America, the most important in them was the transversal route of Lake Nicaragua, and so by the time he died, the recommendations he made was let the British help build the canal by 1843. But due to the Clayton-Bulwer Treaty of 1850, the British made its withdrawal from Nicaragua, and both sides agreed to joint control of any canal built there. Then in 1846, the Mallarino-Bidlack Treaty was signed. An interventional production in the Isthmus of Panama was officially ratified by the United States. William Henry Aspinwall then created a demand for a practical route between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans due to the California gold rush, which was eventually exploited by some other businessmen. By the 1850s, the Panama Canal Railway was made, marking the beginning of modern construction since the 1500s. It was there the cost was estimated to be 8,000 won for that railway, making it much profitable for their customers. Moreover, after the Civil War, the Interoceanic Canal Commission was founded by previous President Ulysses S. Grant. It beckoned forth sundry sea dogs, young Commander Thomas Oliver Selfridge, Jr. amongst them, to chart Humboldt's fanciful path for a canal across Central America. They, after much deliberation, declared Nicaragua the fairest of them all, thus planting it firmly in the hearts of American policymakers. By the 1880s, another European country called France decided to step in to finish the final parts of the canal. But by 1899, they didn't finish it on time due to multiple struggles and, well, technical difficulties. It then marked the start of the Panama scandal in the metropolitan area of the country. Finally, in 1903, American authorities made Panama independent from Colombia and controlled the construction of the canal at the time. It was then finished by their withdrawal 11 years later, but there was one issue: World War I. The Panamanians didn't know what to do about it, so they didn't mind. Bonus: extended versions were scheduled by 2007 and 2016. The Panama Canal today remains an important part of the country's geographical history, since it's most famous for being a perfect connection to the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans.
I hope you enjoyed this episode and thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content. Also, don't forget to check out our other channels. We just made them. And as you know, there is an ongoing Q&A happening in our channel. So remember this, you can always ask us anything. Thank you.